So you've seen the just closed Instagram posts, and now you've got a grand idea. You're gonna sell houses and make it big. Well, congratulations. You're in for a lot of top ramen, sleepless nights, and panic attacks. Today we're talking about what it takes to become a real estate agent. Let's start with the good news. The barrier to entry is shockingly low. You don't need a college degree. You don't need to know anyone. You don't even need to be particularly good at math. If you're at least 18 or 19, depending on your state, have a high school diploma or GED, and can pass a background check, you're already halfway there. But you do need a license. And getting that license means going back to school, sort of. Every state requires pre-licensing education, anywhere from 40 to 180 hours of coursework, depending on where you live. Texas makes you sit through 180 hours, while California only asks for 135. Some states let you knock it out in a few weeks if you really grind. You'll learn about property law, contracts, ethics, fair housing regulations, and a whole lot of vocabulary you'll forget immediately after the exam. Riveting stuff. The cost runs anywhere from $200 to $1,000, and you can do it online in your pajamas or in a classroom if you need the structure. All right, you finished your coursework. Honestly thought you'd tap out by now, but don't get comfortable because you've still got the licensing exam waiting for you. It's split into a national portion and a state-specific portion. You'll need around 70 to 75% to pass, and about half of all test takers fail on their first attempt. The exam costs another $50 to $300, and if you fail, you pay again. So maybe actually study. Total damage to get licensed usually lands between $500 and $1,500 before you've made a single dollar. And that's just the beginning. Here's something they don't tell you in those Instagram posts. You can't just go solo. As a fresh agent, you legally have to work under a licensed broker. Think of it like being a baby lawyer who needs a law firm. You've got the credentials, but you need supervision. You've got big names like Keller Williams and Remax, boutique local firms, and discount brokerages that'll take anyone with a pulse. Each one takes a different cut of your commission, anywhere from 50% at traditional brokerages to just 10% at flat fee shops. But here's the trade-off. The brokerages that let you keep more usually give you less. Less training, less support, less hand-holding. If you're brand new, a 50-50 split with actual mentorship might be worth more than keeping 90% of nothing. And most brokerages charge desk fees, technology fees, and marketing fees on top of the split. Some charge monthly whether you sell anything or not, so that 100% commission brokerage might still cost you $500 a month just to exist there. Now let's talk about money. The median income for a real estate agent is around $50,000 a year. But that number is wildly misleading because real estate income isn't a bell curve, it's a barbell. You've got a huge chunk of agents making under $30,000 on one end and a small group making $200,000 plus on the other. The middle is pretty empty. Your first year, expect to make somewhere between nothing and maybe $30,000 if you hustle hard. Most agents don't close their first deal for 3 to 6 months. Some never close at all. Let's say you bust your ass and close your first deal in month 4. It's a $300,000 house with a 3% commission. That's $9,000 gross. Your brokerage takes half, so now it's $4,500. Subtract your monthly fees, MLS dues, gas and marketing, and you're looking at maybe $3,500 in your pocket for 4 months of work. Hope you like roommates. You're not getting a salary. You eat what you kill. No closings, no money, and you're paying for everything yourself. License renewal, MLS fees, marketing, gas, professional photos, lockbox access, continuing education, errors and emissions insurance. Being a real estate agent isn't a job. It's a small business with a 100% commission structure and zero safety net. So what do you actually do all day? That depends on whether you have clients. If you don't, your job is finding them. Cold calling expired listings, door-knocking neighborhoods, hitting up everyone you've ever met, hosting open houses for other agents' listings. It's hardcore, rejection-heavy sales. Picture this. You spend Tuesday morning calling 50 homeowners whose listings expired. 45 hang up. 3 say they're taking a break. 1 agrees to meet, then cancels. That's a normal Tuesday. If you do have clients, you're scheduling showings, writing offers, negotiating contracts, coordinating inspections, and holding hands through one of the most stressful financial decisions of someone's life. You're part salesperson, part therapist, part project manager. Your hours are technically flexible, but realistically chaotic. Buyers want to see houses on weekends. Deals fall apart at 9 p.m. on a Friday. Imagine you've got dinner plans Saturday night, and at 5:30, your buyer calls panicking because another offer came in. Now you're in the parking lot rewriting terms while your friends eat without you. This happens all the time. Still here. Most people would have clicked off by now. Let's talk about what this job does to your head. You're going to face rejection constantly. You'll work with a buyer for 3 months, show them 30 houses, and then they'll ghost you and buy with their cousin's friend. You'll finally get a listing, and it'll sit for 8 weeks while the seller blames you. Income anxiety is brutal. You might close 3 deals in 1 month and make $15,000, then go 2 months with nothing. Learning to budget on unpredictable income is a skill most people never master. You're going to deal with emotional buyers who cry at every setback, sellers who think their house is worth $100,000 more than it is, and aggressive agents who treat every negotiation like war. Imposter syndrome hits hard when you're sitting across from someone trusting you with a $400,000 decision. The agents who make it have short memories and thick skin. Real estate isn't a desk job. You're on your feet walking properties, driving 100 miles a day across 3 suburbs, standing at open houses for 6 hours, answering the same questions. The job doesn't care about your sleep schedule either. Closings get delayed until 7 p.m. and anxious clients text at 6 a.m. Every career has downsides. Real estate has a few big ones. Financial instability is the killer. No benefits, no retirement plan, no unemployment insurance. When interest rates spike and buyers disappear, you feel it immediately. You have zero control over the forces that determine your income. Legal liability is real. Mess up a contract or miss a disclosure, and you could get sued. Personal safety is something people don't talk about enough. You're meeting strangers in empty houses constantly, and burnout is common. The always-on nature combined with income anxiety wears people down. Look around any brokerage and notice how many agents who started 5 years ago aren't there anymore. All right, you've made it this far without running. I'm genuinely impressed. So why does anyone do this? Because when it works, it really works. The income ceiling is basically unlimited. Top agents make $500,000 a year, sometimes more. You don't need a degree or a decade climbing someone else's corporate ladder. Your income is directly tied to your effort and skill. The flexibility is real once you're established. Take a Wednesday off for your kids' school play, work from a coffee shop, take a vacation without asking permission. The freedom is there if you build enough momentum. You help people through one of the biggest moments of their lives. First-time buyers getting their keys, families moving into their forever home. It's emotional, but meaningful. And you're building equity in yourself. Every relationship, every deal, every review compounds. You're not building someone else's business. You're building yours. So what does it actually take to become a real estate agent? Not much to get in. A few $100, some coursework, and a test you'll probably take twice. But to survive, it takes resilience when deals fall apart, self-discipline when nobody's checking if you showed up, the ability to sell without being sleazy, financial runway to survive slow periods, emotional stamina to handle the stress, and a tolerance for uncertainty that most people don't have. Real estate isn't a job, it's a bet on yourself. Some people win big, a lot of people tap out. That's what it takes. If this sounds good to you, you might just be the next big house slinger. If not, click one of the videos on screen and see if something else fits a little better.